Welcome to Recovered, Two Friends, One Path. Today we have our good friend Crystal, who's decided to join us and tell us her story. My name is Jessica, and I'm an addict.
My name is Kathy, and I'm an alcoholic.
My name is Crystal, and I'm an alcoholic.
Welcome.
Welcome.
I never knew we'd say that so chipper.
I know. We're like, a lot of people say that they're a grateful recovering alcoholic, and I never understood that until recently.
Lots of gratitude.
There's a lot of gratitude about being an alcoholic because I don't think I'd be who I am today without being who I was.
Yep.
Gosh, I was just telling one of my sponsees last night. It took me becoming an alcoholic to get in the same zip code as God.
Hold on.
It's
Let me
true.
unpack that. Yep.
It
That's
did.
interesting. That's a good saying.
It did. And I mean, I believe it so much.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, you put it in there. I always heard, and I've said it before, God brought me to AA and AA brought me to God. And that could be the same thing as just being an alcoholic brought me to God, because when there's nothing else and you're at the bottom of the barrel and you have nowhere else to go, you always go to God.
Yep.
And God was the only one that never left me. You know, at the end of my road, I had a few of them. There was just me and him. Let's start a disclaimer real quick before we get going.
Yes. All right. This is solely our opinion. We are not affiliated with any group or program. Our sole purpose is to help others fighting addiction and or alcoholism, and to offer help and knowledge of how we stay sober. This is 100% raw and real. We do cuss, we do tell war stories, we do cry, we do laugh, we do recover.
Amen.
We also believe that there is no one way to do this. So today we have someone on who's going to tell their story that is not part of any program or AA, but we want to hear how she did it, because it's like she said earlier, it's not a one size fits all type thing.
Amen.
And we are so interested in hearing how other people do it, because maybe that will work for someone who's listening.
Yep.
I'm gonna let Crystal take it away.
Awesome. Yeah, I was just listening to The Let Them Theory by Mel Robbins. That was a audiobook that I leaned on when I first got sober, but it's like a self-help of all things. And the part that she was talking about was, you cannot make someone or help someone with their mental health or their addiction or their whatever if they aren't doing it. It is not your burden. You are not responsible for that. And I think what I've learned in my journey is I wasn't ready until I was ready. And I know there were tons of people that were seeing it and noticing it, but not bringing it up. And some did. My best friend in Tampa, I knew she was watching my location. I knew she was concerned. So, but anyway, highly recommend that book.
So again, what is it?
It's Mel Robbins. She's a well-noted TED talker, public speaker, and she wrote a book called The Let Them Theory, and it's an audiobook too, and she narrates it, and I love her. So
Check it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, my name's Crystal. 44 years old. Ooh, that just sounds weird. I live in a neighboring county, but I've known Kathy for years, in our former lives.
Yes.
I know I knew Jessica, but now I know her. But yep. So I don't know. You just want me to talk about my journey?
Tell us about your journey.
I have spent a lot of time trying to track when it got bad, but I think it's just it was a perfect storm in my opinion, and there are studies that talk about this. The percentage of alcoholics in women during COVID is uncanny. And I can't specifically blame that, but to back up, I relocated back here in 2009 after a divorce, and my mother had breast cancer, and I grew up here. So coming back, I got reacquainted with friends, and then made new friends. And I was the barfly. I was the one always out socializing. I was the life of the party. I kept a big circle around me. And that was the social structure that I had. And then I became a bartender in 2014, and that's where I met my husband. The one place you say you're never going to meet your spouse is in a bar. I
met my first one at a bar too.
Yeah.
My last one out of four.
Yeah.
The husband.
The husband. Mine was the husband too.
But
This
there
your
was
former husband or the one?
no. This is current.
One current
My
husband.
my trial run marriage was when I was in my 20s. But yeah,
That don't count.
no, it doesn't.
Yeah, you were breathing.
Yeah, but my journey was always social, and then my husband. That was our social structure before we moved to Walton County and before we had our daughter. Kathy and I share a similar journey when it comes to weight loss. We went through, I don't know if can I share our journeys?
Oh, yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
We both are weight loss surgery patients formerly. I lost 130 pounds and was able to get pregnant with my daughter through a little bit of help.
That's awesome. Praise God.
But I think it was a perfect storm of COVID, because we had nothing to do but party. So we would all have parties at each other's houses. And then being quarantined with that. And also I became a work from home careered person, and I will always be that. I'll never set foot in an office full time, hopefully, knock on wood. And then postpartum was awful for me. I felt isolated a lot, and it just became what used to be when we would go out, which, don't get me wrong, when my mother was dying, we were out at a local bar here every night.
I was thinking that was your coping mechanism.
That was immediate. Not only was I grieving the loss of my father, but while mom was dying, that was the only thing that I coped with. But I've always been a big advocate for mental health. I've always been a person that goes to therapy. I've always been, I'm not using the word dependent, but I've been open to taking medications. I call it broken brain. I think all of us, once we surrender to the thought that we have a broken brain in some ways, it normalizes it, in my opinion. But
you've embraced your mental status, and you said, okay,
and so
I'll take it. I'm embracing this. I'm insane.
Yeah.
And you're good with anything they throw at you.
Yep.
Okay, well, good, because a lot of people run the other direction and they decide to drink instead, or medicate, self-medicate with other things.
Or do both.
Yeah,
Yep.
or do both.
Oh,
Like
that was
me.
me.
That was me.
But my journey became more and more frequent, more and more, drinking earlier in the day. And I've been transparent about this, but it would be 11, 12 in the afternoon or in the morning, and I would be pouring a mimosa while I'm on a conference call. And then, come the afternoon, I switched to my handy dandy vodka. So it just became out of nowhere. And I think all of us can have experience where it just like all of a sudden you're like, what the hell am I doing? And in April, I was riddled with anxiety. I had my daughter home with me for spring break. I could not function. I was having an anxiety attack with her at home, which is a very helpless feeling when you are not in control of your mind or your body and you're taking care of a human being. So I was trying to medicate and get myself under control, and then I would drink and it would turn the lights off and I would be able to chill. So that Thursday morning, we have a bar in our garage. We're Packers fans, and my husband built us a bar so we could have friends over and enjoy that lifestyle with
With a child.
being safe at home, right? So I opened the garage door and I saw my vodka sitting there, and I was just like, enough is a fucking enough. Like, you are killing yourself. My weight was coming back up. My anxiety was crippling, debilitating. And I just was like, enough is enough. But I'm also a hypochondriac, self-diagnosed. So I got all in my head about withdrawal.
Diagnosed hypochondriac. I like that.
Oh, for sure. So I got so worked up about withdrawal, and everybody's like, you're not going to go through withdrawal. It's not that bad. You didn't know. Like, they didn't know how bad it was.
We as alcoholics lie to everyone around us and
ourselves.
And that's the big one. We lie to ourselves.
Yep.
We cover up. I don't think anybody ever knows how bad it really is.
Yeah,
We
but
hide.
Some people don't have any withdrawals, and others. Me personally, I was in detox for 10 days.
Wow.
But you should never detox alone.
Do not.
You always need to go to a medical detox. But what I was saying about we all hid stuff. So nobody really knew how many pills I was taking. Nobody really knew how much of this I was doing, there at the very end. I believe at the end of my pill streak, I was taking 28 tens a day. Okay, and people didn't know I was even doing that much because I wasn't even prescribed that.
That's just to function.
That
when
was
it comes to opiates,
if
right?
I if I didn't have 6 on my nightstand that morning to get up, and I did not swallow them, I chewed them up,
I dated someone that did that.
and I chased them down with a monster to rush it through my system faster,
And to wake up. Yep.
to get up and get going. And then hours later, I was popping 2 and 3 more, 2 and 3 more. And the thing is, I figured out if I only took one, I didn't feel it. And if I took one again later, I didn't feel it. So I'd take all the ones I was going to take at once. And like, so we all hide those things from everyone,
Yep.
including our husbands, our children, our kids, everyone. I've lived in a home with a man that had absolutely no idea the whole time I was there. I was an absolute huge methamphetamine addict. And I mean, I was doing it in the bedroom above his head every night. I was up all night long, fake being asleep when it was time to get up and get my kid on the bus. You know, I mean, we all hide things. So
Yep.
it's huge how much you're probably hiding from your own self.
Yep.
The only person that knew how much I was drinking was Capital One. You know, pass in your wallet, motherfucker, a bunch of damn Fireball bottles.
That is hilarious.
I mean, that's
Wow.
The liquor store employees knew how much we were drinking.
shit.
I
I
bet those people thought I died.
They did. They
Seriously.
had
I know. I thought about that. Yeah, they probably did.
Like sometimes I want to pop in. Hey guys, I'm still alive, and I don't need the shit that you sell anymore. You know what I mean? I'd be there when it opened.
Oh, the
That's
one.
freaking
That is
The
funny.
one across the street. Well, I'm not gonna mention it. There's one in Covington that opens up at 9 in the morning. So I'd be like calling my boss at 8 saying, you know what? I just woke up. Give me a minute. I was up and sitting there waiting at the store to.
I would be on conference calls on my phone, going inside to get a bottle. You know what I mean? Shameful shit. But I have ADHD and I lost my track. But yeah, I was terrified of withdrawals.
Mhm.
So again, no medical advice, but I thought if I tapered down, that I would feel less effects.
How'd that
So, I think I dropped too quick. I think I didn't let it abruptly, but I also was in the head like I'm ready to stop. I am ready to stop. So Thursday night, Friday tapered. Saturday we went to Tubby's in the like midday, and I was trembling so bad. I thought it was anxiety. No, I was having tremors. I thought tremors felt something different. You know what I mean? And everyone could see it on my
You
face.
never know what any of it is until you go through it.
Yep. And Gina even, people looked at me and you good? I'm like, I'm not good. So I think I had one drink, and then I went home and I thought to myself, I'll just drink some wine tonight. But I didn't. I was so sick. And I woke up that Sunday, nothing. And then that night I went to bed and I would literally feel appendages just move on their own. Boop,
Oh, gorgeous.
boop. And I'm like, so then I was like, I could have a seizure. So I woke my husband up. I said, I'm going to the ER. It was, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. And the embarrassment to walk through that door. Mind you, I am in the medical profession on the back end, on the IT side. But I know enough to know that walking in and going, I think I'm having symptoms of alcohol withdrawal. I wanted to crawl under the desk, They were so kind. They were just so kind and just, it's okay. You are here on your own. You didn't overdose. You're not having liver failure. You're not being told by your loved ones that it's this or nothing. So they were really comforting. But I was sitting there on the bed. They were getting me, they providing all the care that they do when you do detox. And Jessica said it. Don't do it alone, especially alone with just like this. And again, not medical advice, but there are ways to safely do it. But you need to be either at an ER or with friends.
2 things you can die from withdrawals, and that is alcohol and benzos. If you've been taking alcohol or benzos, you may feel like you're going to die from other withdrawals, and I'm sure that you can have complications. But the 2 you most definitely can die from, if you were taking Xanax or barbiturates or alcoholism, do not stop on your own. Do not. You can go into a seizure. What happens is that those things attach to your nervous system.
Yep, central
So,
nervous system.
so when you quit taking these things that cause your nervous system to relax, well, guess what? Your nervous system goes, wah!
Your central nervous system is used to what alcohol and drugs were giving you, so then it starts
Freaking
causing
out.
you to tremor, causing you to shake. But the one thing I remember, I was sitting on that hospital bed in the ED and I was crying. And he's like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, I just don't understand how I got here. I have degrees. I have a career. I have a house. I have a husband. I have a family. I have a daughter. And he's like, "Yeah, you and everybody else that comes through those doors."
Boom.
It's like, say less.
There we go.
It's non-biased for sure. So
Exactly.
Super
It just-
thankful.
yeah, it's anybody. Anybody.
in about 4 days after getting the medication they give you to help, by that was Sunday night into Monday, by Tuesday night I was finally able to feel better enough to have the willpower to keep going. So, and
Praise God for this medical professional.
oh, for sure. And yes, there are addictions to medications, but there are some medications out there that are here to help us
Yes.
in those situations. But as opposed to y'all's journey with AA and rehab and treatment and all that, my journey has been a little different, and I did not enter into a program. I have not gone to a meeting, although Kathy desperately wants me to go.
We will go with you. I'll hold one hand, she'll hold the other.
Well, I am a people person, clearly, so I'm not afraid to be in a room full of strangers. I don't know what the mental block is with it, to be honest, but I'm a social media person, and I leaned on, this sounds so trivial and stupid, but the side of sobriety TikTok has been my therapy. And it sounds trivial, but there are so many amazing people that go live, that bring people into their lives, that just, it's an AA, it's a virtual AA meeting
I
without
was in one this morning.
the formalities of it, because y'all, you have your structure in AA, right?
Mm-hmm.
So Sober Talk helped me with knowing the signs of withdrawal enough to know I need to go. And then, having my friends and family support me, and, that was my avenue. It doesn't work like that for everyone. And I think what we need to tell ourselves is it's okay. Whatever works for you is working for you. And if you start to sink back, then maybe you do need to switch it up. Like if
Try
I have a
something
weak
new.
moment, maybe I need to go sit next to you two girls, Maybe you need to, switch it up. But I've been very thankful that I've been able to be this strong, especially with a spouse that doesn't have the problem I had and still has the ability to drink.
Community, yeah.
Because I also need, as us, I can't tell him to stop. He's got to want it. And through my journey, I think he sees that it can be done. But there were months and months and months that I reclused. I couldn't go to where you work and to where I spent. I would go sit there at lunchtime during the day and work, and I was on that bar stool getting a drink at 11 o'clock, maybe even earlier.
It took me a long time to be able to go to the Mexican restaurant.
Yep.
Because I would always, just like you, I would take a break. I'd get away from the kids for a minute. I'd go do a little work, go do a little reading. I'd sit down at the Mexican restaurant North, not there anymore.
Oh, yep.
And I would get a $3 rainbow margarita, and I would drink a pitcher of them
Mm-hmm.
before I would stumble myself back to my car to try to get home. It was a mile. But I do want to touch on something, and I would probably get shot by everyone at AA for saying this. AA is not a fit-all person.
No.
Not for everyone. This percentage of people who get sober and stay sober in AA is only 2%. 2%.
Is that?
That's accurate. 2%.
I think it's in rehab.
Is it
Not
rehab?
Yes, it's 100%. Only two. It went down from 3% to 2% in rehab, not AA.
Okay, so it's
I was
rehab.
about to say
yeah.
that doesn't sound right
Yeah.
at all.
No, it's rehab.
It's rehab.
Yes.
Okay, so I was wrong. Say that again.
Only it was 3%, but it's dropped down to 2%. That stay sober after rehab without
Some kind of help.
going
Going back
kind
in.
of support system or work in a program, or at least just recognizing, saying, hey, you know what, I need to get on TikTok. Oh, I need to go to church, whatever.
I need to go to
So,
celebrate
yeah.
recovery, something.
Yeah,
Okay,
it was
well, then I
like
was-
3%. 3% of the people, and that the only reason I know this is because while I was in rehab, they were like, you know, only 3% of y'all are gonna make it and not come back.
How's that conducive to how saying that to you guys? Like that seems a little negative. You know what I mean?
I think it was more of a
Stay with it.
Determination.
Yeah, stay with it because
Yeah.
only so many of y'all are gonna make it. And
and the old guy that told us this at the rehab, he had like 35 years sober. And he's like 3%. And I'm sitting there going, shit. And honestly, those are probably accurate numbers.
That's wild.
Because a lot of people, and again, I'm doing the whole AA thing because that's what works for me.
That is absolutely what's working.
And the thing about it is, whenever you get out of rehab, they were like 90 for 90, 90 for 90, do 90 meetings in 90 days. And boy, I was on that shit. until
So
I
that
got
is a
sick.
good exit strategy to keep you consistent.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
well, and it's a repetitive program. They keep you in there. You know, they try to keep you every day to listen to people talk, listen to people share, so it stays fresh in your mind. They say the minute you slow down on your program or you quit doing your work or whatever, that's when a lot of people relapse.
Yep.
And it is, and I'm gonna be honest with you. This week has been a real trying week for me.
Yep.
I've
You and I were
been
talking about it.
working. I had, some issues with a friend that disappointed me and upset me. And I have just been slammed, just keeping up with life, because life be life.
Life lies.
Yeah, it's been life and life. And I didn't do my daily reflection. I didn't read it.
That's a book that we all do in the mornings. We get.
Well, I do it on Everything AA app. And
You've been telling me.
I don't even have to read it. All I do is push it. It reads it to me. But
It's a
I have
devotional.
been so busy that I can tell the days that I don't listen to my daily.
Yeah.
Take a few seconds and just go, God, thank you, and pray for my enemies, and pray for God to give me the power to do His will. I know on those days that I skip that. Whenever I may wake up a few minutes early and be like, oh, I'm gonna go ahead and go work.
Yeah.
Instead of taking that 10 minutes and saying, okay.
Yeah.
And I can tell a difference. So I am not gonna skip that, because as we non-AA people will not know this, but shit eats your lunch.
Yeah.
Shit gets to eating your lunch, and it eats your lunch all week. And you want to explain what eating lunch is?
Just something that's bothering you to the point of where you're wanting to probably do something stupid
Mhm.
and
Something you can't
yeah,
control.
something you can't control.
They're eating your lunch, and I let certain things just get in my mind, and I was like, so last night was like a moment of clarity of, no, this week's gonna be better.
Yep.
This week is gonna be
I
better.
think it's so easy to get off course with your daily. Like me, I thrive better when I take moments to be grateful. And
Mm-hmm.
this sounds so silly. I'm struggling with the organizational structure of church and religion. That's just a me thing. But I know God, and I know my God, and I know my higher power. But there was a little bit of drama when the beautiful monks came walking through our counties.
I wish I'd have seen that.
I needed it, and I went New Year's night by myself, but they are coming through to just support and spread peace and love for a country that is very volatile right now. And they're recruiting. First of all, Buddhism isn't even a religion, but there were some zealots that were protesting.
Buddhism is our religion.
Yeah. It's a frame of mind. I don't know, but there are relying on your higher power and surrendering to that you can't do it by yourself, at the same time, there is healing and there is gratitude and there is enlightenment from within. You
It
have,
takes place
you
here.
guys have your tools, right?
Mhm.
But it also is badassery within inside us to know that this is the only way. The Baby Yoda reference, this is the way. But you have enough strength within yourself, and we sometimes forget that because we get caught up on bringing out Mel. You can't fix and you can't support someone else's fallout if you're not checking, if you're not taking care of here. I can't be the mother that I stress myself out to be if I'm in my head because my temper gets short, I get impatient. You know what I mean? But I think there's some self love that you still have to practice even with having those tools.
Oh, yeah,
Does
yeah,
that
yeah,
make sense?
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
And I'll be honest with you, loving yourself, that right there alone,
And forgiving yourself.
I'm still working.
I know you are.
I'm still working on that. There's a few things I pray about it. I'm a work in progress. That's all I can say.
That's
I pray
But
about it.
you've grown leaps and bounds
Mhm.
from this time last year with everything, everything.
Because if
It's
I
a
had
daily reprieve.
well, I mean, anybody that knows, I call her old Kathy.
I call
Some-
her Priscilla.
Yeah. Well, I had my old employee, Bob Queisha is what they call me. Yeah. I mean, that God's honest truth, and Susan's probably watching it going, I remember Bob Queisha. Yeah. Hey, Susan. But, I had an attitude, and it was, fuck around and find out. And the shit I went through, and like I said, I asked somebody one time that hurt me bad. I was like, do you want me to shoot you with your gun or my gun? Do you want to be awake or do you want to be asleep?
You want to see it coming or not?
I mean, which do you prefer?
Mm-hmm.
And, I did lose my composure at one point and got a baseball bat, and that's a different story that I'll tell one day. But yeah, anybody that knows the old Kathy, you didn't,
You were
made it.
you were a guarded person,
Anybody,
protective of
I-
yourself.
it didn't matter if I saw somebody and they looked sideways. I thought, what the fuck is your problem? I would, as I call it, Medea them. You do something to me, I'm gonna get you back.
Yeah.
And I mean, I have a lot of other tools in my toolbox that, I know some vindictive shit. And I can do some vindictive shit, and I specialize. I was a specialized person in doing mean shit to people.
She don't see that person today.
No.
Oh no! It look. If I go back to that person, if I'm ever pushed back to that person, I blow shit up and I go back to drinking. And that's why a lot of times, whenever somebody's saying something that I don't want to be a part of, I'll be like, oh, my phone's ringing, and I'll just walk away.
Yep.
And then be like, I don't entertain drinking drugs from. Don't bring
The
it
three
around me.
Ds.
The 3Ds. Don't bring it around me, because I don't have room for that in my life. If I go back to drinking, I'm dead. With
Yep.
this disease,
Yeah.
with EPI,
Yep.
and there for a little while, I kind of welcomed it. I was like, you know what? I am tired. And fear of losing the house, stuff like that, is what got me to rehab. But me just wanting to not go back to that lifestyle of the drink every day, the hiding, the
Yeah.
oh God, is he gone to work yet? Is it 4:30, 5 o'clock yet? I mean, I ain't gonna lie to you. The one's been I would hide from him so he wouldn't see me drunk. I would hide in the bathtub, in the in the hallway, and just like if I don't see him, he don't see me.
You
So
don't
I'd be like
exist.
this. I
You
don't
don't
see
see
you.
me. You don't see me. Yep.
You know?
We thought we were invisible.
Yeah, and like my office, I would sit there and lay down on the floor with my feet up against the door so he couldn't open it. You know, that is insane.
It is.
And
The lies we were telling ourselves.
oh my God, lie, cheat, steal. I mean, that's what
Like-
alcoholics do.
We were talking earlier about like we thought we were good at hiding it, but now my heightened, like I have an insane heightened sense of smell. My husband could drink a sip of a beer and I'm like, ugh, or cigarettes or whatever. Just in general, my senses are awake again. But you really thought you had people fooled, or yourself fooled. You thought you were fooling yourself because you weren't
Yeah.
fooling.
You weren't fooling anybody else.
You weren't fooling all of them. They're not stupid.
Well, it's bad.
Well,
Well, yeah.
you know, but
Walking. You know, here I was thinking I was walking a straight line, and then I'd wake up with bruises, and it's where I'd be like, boom,
Bump it
playing
into
bumper
shit.
cars.
boom. You know, and I'm like, oh man, yeah.
And I had a trigger, and I talked about it in that TikTok I did. I had a out of nowhere, didn't even think it would be relevant trigger going down a road that I would go to take Aria to her old church pre-K before we were in the daycare. And I would remember stopping at a specific road to pull over and puke because I would have like just bile and then after dropping her off, I would stop at the same gas station and get stuff for mimosas. And then I would start my work day. And then I would be drunk. I never would admit it, but I would be intoxicated at 2:00 going to get her.
Mhm.
Coming around my car stumbly and thought I was pulling it off. I bet those women that were taking care of my child were like, is she for real? Is she really coming here to pick her up like this? And I want to crawl right under here and self-loathe and hate myself. But I can't, well, you can. I mean, you can do whatever, but it's wild how certain triggers will bring you back and then you'll go and review and unpack the shit you did
Mm.
and then wonder how did you let it get that bad? But
And that's something we have to give ourselves grace.
yes,
Because
Kathy,
yeah, we do.
give yourself some grace.
I'm working on that. I'm working on that. But you know, we done stupid shit.
Mhm.
And the great thing about it is an alcoholic can own their shit.
Mhm.
They will sit there at a meeting and say, you know what? I done XYZ. I can sit here and tell the world,
Yep.
whoever's gonna watch this, you know what? I have shit myself. I have pissed my bed. I have fallen down drunk out in the driveway, broken glasses.
Yep.
I have
Lick the pills off the floor. But one of my favorite ones is, if you don't see me, I used to get real high and try to go lay in bed while my husband slept so they wouldn't know that I'd done anything. We all called it playing possum.
okay.
And
On things that would speed you up.
me up. And it is so funny because my husband told me that he knew every night. And so basically I laid there for no reason. I laid there trying not to move for like 9 hours at a time, wide awake, playing possum all night. Didn't
With
even
your
have to.
brain just going.
But
all
yeah,
over
with
the
me just
place.
going boom, 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 and like just laying there all night long playing possum and find out later he knew the whole time anyway.
I would sit there and tell the husband, "Oh, I hadn't drank today," and he's like, "Really? I smell it on you." And I'm like, "My big thing was, I got Big Red chewing gum, but I used to get the Big Red cinnamon chewing gum
Just to try to mask
just
it.
to try to mask it. Oh, I'm not drinking." And you know, he's like, "Okay." I thought I was fooling people. Hell, I thought I was fooling my boss until he's like, "Yeah, you're fired."
That was a big scary one for me to admit to my team and my team lead that this was a journey I'm on now, and I didn't admit that. Yeah, I've been roaring hammered on conference calls and trying to do my job, but my performance reflected that.
Yeah.
And to be able to give it something like I know that we bumped heads for these certain months because I wasn't staying focused and I wasn't completing tasks because I already had ADHD. But now I want to tell you why.
Yeah.
Not an excuse, but is there such thing? There's a reason.
It's kind of a, would that be kind of a amends? Yeah, it's kind of an amends, clearing the air. So how long have you been sober now?
9 months.
Ooh, girl, 9 months.
Sober date 4/12.
That's
Just
right
hit my
on.
9 months this week, right? Yeah.
This week?
Yeah.
Oh.
The 12th? When was that?
So
No,
tell
that
us
was-
some more stuff about this. We've already talked about the AA thing.
Yep.
What else do you do to keep yourself in line and keep yourself sober? You know, because we have the steps and we have the principles and the things. You know, tell us about Crystal's program.
I think one thing, and I think it's hilarious. I'm a competitive motherfucker.
Mm-hmm.
And so these goals, those are achieved, like, those are kind of like my competition. I'm going to go this next month. I'm going to go this next week. That's one part of it. And
We do the same similar thing in AA because we
Yep.
have the chips.
The
And
chips.
stuff, and-
Yep.
Yep.
And just being honest with myself, like I said, utilizing social media, utilizing the other audiobook I can't recommend enough is This Naked Mind. You guys
Yes,
heard of
that's
it?
the one that you were telling me about.
I tried 2 sobriety, like drinking sobriety books, and this one resonated with me. The other one was just a different angle, but audiobooks, podcasts, talking it out. Like, I'm going to FaceTime my friend and talk about this right now. I have my routine in the mornings of the people I reach out to, and we do morning FaceTimes with our coffee and stuff. I can't be alone in something. I am not a reclusive person, even in my anxiety. I have to be on the phone talking to someone to talk me down. And that's how I was in my addiction. But
So you got
that
like a network.
interaction, yep, I have a network of people that I just, and honestly, I'm not trying to be Susie Cream Cheese, but now it does not feel challenging. It is what it is. And every milestone I celebrate, and certain things I do, I got all in my head about going to Disney and being on a first vacation.
Right. I
did
remember you
great.
talked about that.
We did go to Cocoa Beach one day, and that was kind of triggering. I think that's what's helping me too, is I'm giving it a spotlight to say, this triggered me, but guess what? I didn't let
We
it.
call that telling on our disease.
Telling on our disease, I like that.
Yeah, we
So-
tell on our disease, and that helps us keep on.
And my best friend, that she became sober about what, four months after me, for her own reasonings and her own journey. And the I call it side effects. Y'all don't yell at me, but the side effects of sobriety can come in forms of overstimulation. I can't people as much as I used to, or the loneliness, or the boredom, or the need to find other things to do because our social structure was drinking. But
Everything's got to
being able to bounce off of your very best friend that not only co-signed your addiction but participated in your
Yes.
addiction together.
Yes.
We were each other's. We were the day drinkers. We were the ones, that has helped a lot too, to kind of have a partner in crime and to walk this journey with. And it's not linear. She started later, I started before, it doesn't matter. Her partner is doing this journey with her. Mine is not. And so we're going through our own journey, but it just helps to kind of have someone that you can say, oh my God, I can't believe I used to do this, this, and this. So, yeah.
How are you doing when you said your husband is not necessarily on that same thing? So, how are you doing when he decides to partake?
I have no patience. I just, I have to kind of just breathe and let them. I'm going to let him. I'm going to let him do what he does. I've had I've expressed my frustrations, and, as all relationships and marriages, it takes some patience and communication. So I tell you, and you receive it, because you cannot force someone.
No.
Everyone, AA or otherwise, rehab or otherwise, that 3% has some weight behind it. You can't lead someone.
No, you can't.
You and I know
love
I have
somebody
a
else.
family member that I really would love to lead to the light, is what I say, but you can't. You cannot. And if they go into it trying to please you, they're going to be that 97%.
They're doing it for the wrong reason.
They're doing it for the wrong
And,
reason.
and here's the thing: if you're, like you said, if you're going to rehab or getting sober for someone else, what happens if that someone else?
Jump ship.
Because to me, I was trying to get sober for my husband,
Mhm.
and whenever situations happened and we ended up splitting up, that was the end of my world. You know, I look back, even in my rehab, I still have my rehab book bag with all the paperwork and stuff, and it said, you know, reservations. Well, you know, if something happens with my marriage, if something happens with my house,
But you didn't know. You didn't drink.
I know, but
But you did. So that goes back.
I was going to. I was going to. I was headed to the liquor store. Right after the baseball bat, I was going to go drink. And had Jimmy not answered the phone, I may have. I may have. And I knew the consequences. But there was 0 fucks I could give.
Mm-hmm.
But then Jimmy said, I'm staying on the phone with you, go to a meeting. And I did. If I didn't get out, I sat in the parking lot.
Mhm.
My legs wouldn't move. I just,
That you didn't drink.
But
That's
you were
the-
there.
That was the most important thing.
I did
Yeah,
not
they
drink.
used to say all the time, it doesn't matter why you went, is if you stayed. And, you know, those seeds get planted.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it doesn't matter. I went to rehab the first time to keep my kids and to keep my husband happy. I had to sign my children over to my 31-year-old daughter now, at the time she was 18. And I wanted to please everybody and keep my kids and get defects off my back. I stayed sober a good 9 months. Defects went away. Everything went normal again. But those seeds were planted
Mm-hmm.
that I carried along. And I've admitted 100 times, I was a chronic relapser. I think I may have relapsed, I swear to God, 1,000 times. And, you know, everything I learned, I kept.
Mhm.
And I always believed that I wanted to be sober. I just think I wanted to be high more.
Yeah.
And it was that old familiar pain. I wanted to keep punishing myself.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to keep punishing
Wow.
myself.
It was easier to punish ourselves than to look into ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
It was a lot easier. We had a reason, you know. Oh well, anybody can come up with a reason, and this is something I asked a person recently. Why did you relapse? Because, and I'm just throwing out examples. Because my car wouldn't crank. No. Why did you relapse? My mom called me a bitch. Why did you relapse?
Because you wanted to.
Because my job cut my hours. Why did you relapse? My washer went out. No, motherfucker. You relapse because you wanted to.
Yep.
You got in your mind and you let that mental obsession.
Yep.
Once that mental obsession takes over, you take that first drink, the phenomenon of cravings come on. And you can't stop.
No.
That's the powerless.
One's too many.
Thousands never enough.
And that's where you go from there. People think, oh, well, it's a choice, it's a choice. Yeah, okay, well,
To a certain extent.
yeah. But once an alcoholic gets that little bit in them,
Mm-hmm.
that's when the cravings.
I was almost like a robot going straight to it. Like, it was almost like, I'll never forget. Once I got that in my mind that I was going to go do something stupid, it was like I literally was like a robot. I just went down my keys, got in my car, cranked it, drove straight there, got out. And it was almost like I didn't snap to till I had it. And as soon as I had it, I was like, oh shit, what did I just do?
Mm-hmm.
And that's that powerlessness that people talk about. Like, I literally had no power over whether I did it or not.
Once you convinced yourself that it was okay.
Mhm.
to do it.
Oh, it's just
I had one situation that I distinctly remember I was in Wisconsin with my family for a wedding. I was officiating and doing the makeup for my baby cousin, and I come from German Norwegian families, and weddings are a booze fest. And I was struggling, and then I kept convincing, because in the beginning I kept saying, I'll get a grip on this and I'll be able to socially drink again. Is that a lie that we all try to tell each other? Or am I just crazy?
No,
I was trying to say, I can go back, I can have a better relationship with this. The fuck you say. But that whole time I was at that reception, I couldn't wait to get back to my hotel by myself. I had myself convinced that when I'm alone, Ari's not here, Jason's not here, I'm gonna DoorDash booze.
Mhm.
This was in June, so what, I was 3 months into my journey. Shout out to DoorDash for closing their business hours, or the liquor store closing, because when I got back to the room, it was too late to order. And I went my ass
Is that-
to sleep.
Was that odd?
Or was that God?
Just saying.
Yes, you're talking about the do we convince ourselves. There's something in this book. It's called More About Alcoholism. And basically it talks about how no matter what we do, we're still going to be alcoholics. We can try to convince ourselves any other way by drinking less, drinking different, drinking something else,
Yeah.
drinking somewhere else. But it's all still the fucking same. It ends
Yes.
in this terrible predicament. We wake up and hate ourselves and hate our lives and continue to destroy ourselves.
Yep.
And yes, to answer your question, all of us think that if we
Yes.
do it different, that we
Yep.
can. Or if I quit this long, going back, surely I'll be able to have one and go home like a normal person. But
Drink.
Like I was sober through my pregnancy, and when I stopped breastfeeding and decided to start having drinks again, I had no like my tolerance was still there.
Oh yeah.
I was still able to. I tried wine at first because I was real fixated on being able to breastfeed, and it just wasn't a journey for me. So I went by the book for the 6-7 weeks I was doing it, and then I was like, I'll just have wine. And I was like, I thought one glass of wine I'd feel a buzz. I didn't feel shit. And then I went to like seltzers, and then I went to mixing my seltzers with my vodka, and it just But
they say you go right back to where you start. You
Yeah.
left off.
Really?
Yeah. They say you go right back to where you left off. And
And Joe and Charlie actually talked about it. You know, you go right back where you left off. And, again, shout out to Joe and Charlie tapes because that helped save my life.
I'll never even check them out. Just listen.
that's a
to them.
podcast that you told me about,
No,
right?
it's actually on everything AA app, but yeah, that's what I told you about.
It is technically a podcast. It's two old dudes that sit down and they break down that big book because it sounds like
That's
the
a lot.
Bible. It's like the Bible when you try to read it. But the two dudes, they are hilarious. They tell a bunch of really good stuff.
They
and you may benefit just to listen to them.
Yep.
And they are really awesome and they dumb down things.
They put it in layman's terms. I was about to
they
say
put
that.
it in because some people don't know this, but this right here, the big book, the AA book, was written in the 30s. And they use
Old language.
old language, and Joe and Charlie, they dumb it down. And that's what I needed.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for that, that's like it's just like a damn camera. I was like, here, Crystal, that's like Greek to me. I don't comprehend it. And
Yep.
there's a thing about Joe and Charlie talking about, well, maybe if I drink beer instead of liquor, maybe if I drink wine, I've been 3 months without something. Surely I could go back to just a glass. No, motherfucker, you can't.
Mhm.
You gonna start right back over.
Once a cucumber becomes a pickle, it cannot be a cucumber again.
Ooh.
Okay.
Ooh.
Fun fact: I like cucumbers. I mean, I like pickles. I hate cucumbers.
Me too. That give me heartburn.
But once you become a pickle, you can't go back. So you've pickled yourself in this alcohol, and you're a
Literally.
you are a motherfucking pickle. Okay, so that's just a fun fact. But I'm proud of you, and I'm really
Thank
glad
you.
that you have decided to do this and to come on and tell people that there is other ways to do this, and we want to hear other people tell us their little
Yep.
things
What
because
works
like
for you?
what works for you, and I do want to get of the books from you and
Mhm.
the stuff that you see on your TikTok and stuff.
Sober talk. Yeah.
Right, because I'm gonna put this all up for everybody.
Yes.
I will.
You can
we will
literally
post
follow
it.
a hashtag on TikTok and literally type in sober talk, and it will just end up
We'll
on your
get it for
FYP.
you guys so y'all can see it.
I want to shout out to another app too. I didn't mean to interrupt.
Oh,
But
go ahead.
You're talking about Everything AA,
Mhm.
an app that I've been using, and there's so much more content in it that I don't tap into. I am sober. It's an app where you can you do your morning check-in. You check in that, and it says you write out what are you going to be sober for today.
Oh wow.
And I
Okay.
wrote at the very beginning for my husband and my child, for Aria Joe. Because when I was pregnant, I swore, and I even lectured Jason. I said, I will not raise this child. Oh, I'm going to cry. I will not raise this child into the same environment that I was raised in. She
There you
will
go.
not see what I saw. And I think that's the biggest regret I have. But thankfully, she's young. I don't know if that's an excuse. I don't know if she will remember it. But it's
You
my
did it
time.
though. You
Yeah.
did this, Crystal. She
Cool.
won't have to. And if you stay on this journey,
Yep.
and you continue working for you and doing this for you, she's not ever going to have to see that
Nope.
mom again.
Nope.
And we talk about
There's
this
no crying with makeup on, damn it.
I have 3 groups of children. My older ones, the middle ones, and the babies. The older ones definitely remember. And like I said, the oldest one had to have custody of my others.
Yep.
The middle ones, they remember a lot. Sebastian was 4 years old when his dad and I split up, and I was just a raging person by that point. And I think by the time I quit, he was about 7 or 8. The little girls, the little kids, will never have to know that mother.
Mm-hmm.
Praise God.
Yes.
And, something that I was trying to explain to my niece the other day, she was upset because her mom treats her baby brothers and sisters differently. She treats them, and she loves them more. No, I treat my babies different than I treat my own because it is a living amends to them that they will never have
Yep.
to live like my other kids did.
Being present, that was a big thing that
They
I'm
will
enjoying.
never,
being present for
ever
her.
have to live like that. And they will never, ever have to see that mom because I'm going to tell you, I was never abusive to my kids, but I was emotionally unavailable. I was gone mentally day in and day out because my mind and focus was on drugs, alcohol, men, and not focusing on myself,
Mhm.
but being involved in everybody else's bullshit. So they didn't have a mom. Okay. And that's one of the things that I really need to work on myself about is forgiving myself for that. But daily, I try not to do that to the children I have now.
Yep.
This is my 3rd chance at being a mother. And I want these kids to never have to live like my other ones did.
Yep.
Yeah.
But to piggyback off the app, you do your morning check-in, and then you check in at night, and it has setups to go. Were you sober? Or basically like, what is your mood? What are you feeling today? You can clock your mood. You can also say, did you have a drink? Okay, did you have one? And then I guess it leads you to some motivation to get back on the
It's kind of like a 11th step. It's an 11th step.
And then you check in, and then it counts your days. It also, and my phone's recording this, but it also, you enter how much money you were spending on your alcohol, and it adds it up.
I saw you
Crazy.
post how
$6,000
much
I've
you,
saved.
you saved, yes.
But let's not talk about transfer of addiction, because did I save it? No, because I stay on fucking TikTok shop. But anyway,
But now you
and coffee.
You have something to show
Coffee,
for it now.
yes.
We have new hobo bags and chain wallets, and we have all these things.
A couch. I have a
Instead
couch.
of a headache. I will never forget the day I bought myself a real jacket. I think I went through my entire addiction without one because I'd rather have bought drugs. And so when I finally got sober, I went and bought myself one of those real expensive Columbia jackets with the
Mhm.
fur and the boots.
Yeah.
And I walk in and I'm like, I'm so glad that I bought myself an actual jacket. And everybody's looking at me like I'm nuts. And I'm like, I used to put all that in my nose. So I never had something to keep me warm. I mean, I would wear a hoodie or something that I'd gotten off somebody. And I believe 35 years old before I bought myself my first jacket.
Wow.
You know,
That's crazy.
yeah, but it's the truth.
Yep.
And sitting back and thinking about it now, you know, all these beautiful things, and I mean, you know, a lot of it is material and it doesn't matter. However, since I've not been using and drinking, I have a lot of the things in my life I've always wanted.
Yep.
You know, and I've been able to do for my kids. I remember back when I was married to my husband, you know, we would sit there and try to figure out how in the world we were going to shuffle this and shuffle that around my addiction. My kids never had nice
You
clothes.
were budgeting in.
My kids never had clothes. I was never able to do this stuff. I was never able to buy this, buy that. I mean, you know, I remember driving my truck and it was so rigged up that I had to carry jumper cables with me so that I could get my car jumped every time I had to stop. I remember going to Eggleston to take my kid and having to get somebody to jump me off because I couldn't get the car, or I just have to leave the car running the whole time. But it wasn't due to us being poor; it was due to me putting everything in my body.
Yep.
And
I remember
today,
running a budget.
yeah,
Sorry.
do it.
Running your budget to go, okay, you got this kind of running money for the week. You got your gas money, you got grocery money because I buy the groceries. And I was literally calculating enough money to buy my vodka bottles and my mimosa stuff.
Yeah.
And
How about this? I didn't even do that. I just spent it and then figured it out later.
my husband his head would spin. He's the budgeter.
I was gonna get high. I was gonna get my stuff.
I call him something, but it's very, it's not, I don't want to say racist, but it's a
I know
religious
what you're talking about.
derogatory term
Yes.
that I will not say
Yes.
because it's
Yes.
hateful.
Yes.
But yeah, so
I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I would do the same thing. I'm like, all right, do I want to buy groceries or drink?
I don't eat anyway. So
I don't really eat that.
I know when people say GLP-1s also help with addiction, I'm like, I can't fucking tell because I was peaking around the time that I was on my first round with GLP-1s.
Right.
But I say all this to say that it's not one size fits all, but the support is still there. We are all here. I've had so many friends closeted reach out to me and go, I'm happy you're being transparent because I think I want to.
That's how we started talking.
I want to take that leap. And I'm like, I'm here. These are the tools. You've also got other things. I don't know as much, but I now have a contact that if someone really needed to get into a program, you've got resources. But
Yes, rehab. And speaking of which, I forgot to
Yeah, let's do that.
do that.
yep,
There is always help available. There is 1-800-662-HELP. That is 1-800-662-4357. Or findtreatment.gov. This is 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. And unfortunately, we are at our 1 hour mark. But I want to say something. There's one thing that we believe in AA, and that's you got to give it away.
Yep.
You know, keep it, you got to give it away. So here is my 9-month chip.
Are you for real?
Yes, look, yay.
I told you we don't cry with makeup on. That's awesome. My mom's one of my mom's very best friends who's been sober now 5-ish years, I think. No, longer than that because mom's been gone longer. But she gave me this. I meant to bring it to show you, but she gave me this beautiful. It's a chip, but it was like encased and had all this inspirational
You
stuff.
sent me a picture.
Yes, and I love that thing. So thank you.
Yeah.
That is amazing. Now she's like, now maybe the heifer will come in and join me for a meeting.
Now you
That's awesome. Thank you.
got in order to keep it, you gotta give it away.
That's right.
And that's just.
Yep.
I have a chip in there that's from someone's 23-year chip,
That's awesome.
and I treasure it for you.
Yep.
I had a friend send me one in the mail too, a long time ago when I first got sober, and it was a beautiful one, and it was like color of a garnet, and it was so pretty, and I can't remember what year it was, but I gotta find it. I have it put up somewhere.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
No,
for
thank
joining
y'all
us
for
today.
letting me.
Yes.
Thank y'all for letting me be here. And I can join any other time if we've got, you and I discuss something a
Yes,
topic that we want to
yes.
hit on.
Weight loss
Transfer of
surgery.
Yep, weight loss surgery and the transfer of addiction because it's documented.
Yes.
Oh
it is.
wow,
Yeah.
really?
Yes.
I'll pull all my science. I'll pull all
Yes.
my medical journals up, but there is. So that'll be, If
The
you
left
ever
down the
wanna-
road. Yeah,
Yes.
that'd be interesting. Yeah,
And the nurse at rehab actually told me
Yep.
whenever she said, "You have weight loss surgery?" I was like, "Yeah." She's like, "You know, there's studies."
Does it say that happens after weight loss surgery?
And I think that's the science, the benefit of what GLP-1s are doing for the weight loss community is because it is intercepting receptors that go to your brain, and our surgeries did not fix our brain; it fixed our stomach.
Yeah.
It kept our stomachs from engorging. So, but thank y'all.
Thank you.
And we're today, actually, tomorrow is Jessica's birthday.
Happy birthday! I didn't know that.
So we're filming Saturday, and we're gonna post it
Tomorrow.
Happy birthday!
Yes.
Happy birthday to you.
And my
Told you,
anniversary is on the 20th, so we got 2 days later.
Oh
Got
my gosh, that's
anniversary.
awesome.
Yeah, so
Mhm. All right.
we're gonna leave it with a little serenity prayer.
And don't forget.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
after the serenity prayer.
Okay, after
Always in it.
All right. Here we go.
You want to do the our way? Let's do the we version.
We version. Ready?
God,
Grant us the serenity to accept the things we cannot change, the courage to change the things that we can, and the wisdom to know the difference.
Amen.
I've heard that 4,000 times, but can't remember it. Never cited it.
And always remember,
Back up.
Okay.
always remember, if no one tells you today they love you,
We love you.
We love you.
Awesome.
Thank